Good morning and welcome back to Fresh. I'm Julie Dilorenzo, your host for this segment, and we are out here in Elkhart at one of its wonderful parks. We're at Cobus Creek Park here on the west side, I guess, of Elkhart County, and we're going to be talking with Joe Mitchell in a moment about fishing and some of the interesting facts about Cobus Creek and the fish that it carries. I do want to remind you that of course, our segment is brought to you in part by the Elkhart County Living Magazine. If you haven't had a chance to pick one up, make sure you go to www.maplecitymedia.com. Check out the magazine there. You can look at old issues, current issues. The new April issue is just about ready to come off the presses, and I guess there's a lot of great articles in there from what Peg Campbell has told me. So make sure you pick one up. It's only $12 for a whole year, and it's a great addition to the house to be on the coffee tables. Don't forget there's the bi-monthly calendar in there. It'll tell you about some events that might be happening in the May and June issue of some things coming up in the area. Also want to remind you, if you have a chance and you want to subscribe to the Goshen newspaper, a couple of things that they have in there is outdoor spaces. They have a great new magazine that was just an insert at a recent issue that came out on the stands, and it talks about getting ready for spring and getting your gardens ready, your flower gardens, maybe your rock gardens, and just getting ready to spruce up your outdoor area. If you did not happen to get one of these in your Goshen newspaper, you can stop by the Goshen News office in downtown Goshen on Main Street and pick one up. So they also have the Health and Wellness and 50 Plus. So there's a lot of great insert magazines that they have, as well as the subscribing to the Elkhart County Living. So make sure you check it out. All right, so we are here today with Joe Mitchell. It's so nice and you are the president of the River Tenders. Tell me about that.
River Tenders is a club that it's not a club, it's a business that just happened from a hobby of mine. Okay. I'm a fly fisherman. I started a fly fishing club here in South Bend called the St. Joe River Valley Fly Fishermen about 33 years ago. And from that, as a club, we did projects over the years. After that, over the last probably 20 years, we had to make a business out of it just for the fact that somebody has to support it. Right. And the club can only do so much. Right. So anyway, and that's how that started. And because of that, I work almost half of my time is with volunteers. Mm-hmm. So we get a lot of volunteers to do projects, and we can keep them, and they're all cost effective as long as we can get our supplies out of it, then we can do a project. And we've been doing that now for a long, long time.
Well, fly fishing, when you said that, when we first met here today, it surprised me. I didn't know that there was fly fishing in this area, and that was something you were kind of educating me on is fly fishing mostly for trout, and you were educating me that we do have trout in this area.
No, we can fish it. We can catch any kind of fish on the fly.
Right.
So
you can tell I fish.
Go. As a matter of fact, we're just blessed here in northern Indiana in this particular area where we do have some cold water streams. The state and most people don't believe we have cold water streams, so they don't support them. Cobus Creek and the creeks here in northern Indiana really receives all their brown trout from the Elkhart Conservation Club, which is down at the lower end of the river here, or the stream here, just south of Old 20. They have the property between 20 and the river, okay. St. Joe River. And in that years, going back probably close to 50 years ago, the club's project was raising trout using the river or the stream as their hatchery. Mm-hmm. But over the years, found out that we could do a better job we have a cold water hatchery on property now. Right. So we can raise probably up to 70,000 trout a year. But,
so can you, if it's not frozen, can you fish all year round here?
You can on this particular stream, you can. Basically, trout season is between, it'll come in the third Saturday of April, which will be the 27th this year. It starts, and then it goes till the end of the year in Michigan and Indiana, pretty well the same. We do have some designated streams. Cobus Creek in some areas is catch and release all year. Not all of it, but some of it.
How much, where does Cobus Creek start, and how long is it, and where does it end?
Cobus Creek starts at Garvey Lake or above Garvey Lake. but probably 99% of the water, and 99% of the water comes right out of the ground. Just right here, just south of Garvey Lake, right here in the headwaters here. So, and that's why we can hold trout. It's strictly right out of the ground, and the groundwater probably comes in here about maybe 52 to 54 degrees. Ideal for trout.
Tell us about some of the projects. I was reading in the article that you actually have something you do with the Valparaiso University. I think it was building those, what did you call them again?
Bunker structures.
Yeah, explain that to me.
Well, anyway, being that we are marginal streams here in northern Indiana, there's very little, our streams here, as you can see on Cobus Creek here, has very little current. So if there's not a whole lot of current, you really don't, you get very little undercut banks. So the trout doesn't really have a place to live. Trout's not going to live right out here, or fish, period, aren't going to live in the middle of water. So he has to have a place to live, just like you need a house, right? So we kind of build, we call them fish houses. And what we do in this area right here, we make a skid about 3 foot by 8 or 10 foot long. And we put it into the bank, and then we cover it with stone or sod, and people really don't realize
they're hiding in there.
They're hiding in there. And we make them out of virgin white oak. The wood is cut right here in northern Indiana. Never see it, just virgin wood. And I think it will last from 1 to 200 years without, as long as it's underwater. So,
well, and it's a great project not only for the university kids to get involved with, but you said that you could use local volunteers. And how could they get a hold of someone to volunteer their time?
Well, we work with the conservation club, fishing clubs, various. The St. Joe River Valley Fishing Club was one that we started years ago. We work with groups, the Isaac Walton League, Michigan City. We have Northern Indiana Steelheaders. A lot of very, very.
So just contact a fishing club and tell them they want to help with the conservation of the Cobus Creek area.
That is always, and you have rangers right here. Jim Kripe is here all the time.
Oh, okay. So just stop by the park?
Or any of one of the parks, and they really know what we're doing. They know when we're going to be here.
Well, it's a gorgeous park. I have to tell you, I had never been to it. I mean, I've been down this county road here. I think we're on County Road 1. Is this 8 out here? And it's a beautiful park. Some new structures where you can play volleyball, go fishing, have a cookout. A lot of things to do here. So, well, we appreciate you educating us a little bit on the fishing in the Elkhart County area. Again, if you want to learn more, in the last issue that was out from the Elkhart County Living Magazine has a great article in here about fishing here at Cobus Creek. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in a moment after this short break.